Hi everyone, welcome back to our project. We are making a mini album using Atelier from Stamperia. And last time we pretty much finished our pages. We still have some to do, but we got a lot of the way there. So this time I want to do the cover. Normally I have you just go watch one of my videos on how to make a cover, but this one's a little different, and so we're going to do it together for the most part. So what I have here, and you'll have this in your cutting guide, is 2 pieces 7 by 9, and wrap those in your black and you can leave one side unwrapped. Okay, and you have 2 of those. And then we have, get this. We have this piece of the rice paper that we're going to use. And then we have a piece of craft, which I can't remember how big I made it. Is 11 by 9, I believe. Yes, 11 by 9. And then we have a piece of the chipboard that's 2.5 by 9. That's going to be our spine. Let me move that to the side for now. So what I have here, I want the craft and the rice paper to come around and rest on top of the mats that are going to be on the covers. However, the closure, which I'm going to use pieces of fabric, that needs to be under these mats. So we have to do the mats now before we put the cover together. So this is going to be the front, and we're going to put other things on the front. This is going to be the back. We may put other things on the back as well. So we need our ties to come out the finished, like these are going to come up like this. So the spine will be here, and this is going to be the opening. So we need our closures to come here. So, and I don't know if I mentioned, I inked these with walnut stain, and then I went in and added some of that gold wax we've been using on these 3 sides, but not this side because it's going to be covered. So let me slide that off to the side. What I have here is just 2 pieces of fabric. I believe this is silk that was in my stash. You could use whatever, whatever you can find. Obviously, you're not going to have the same thing I have in my stash, but, just go and buy a quarter yard or something at your fabric store if you don't have any. And I just tore these because I want it to look kind of, rough. I don't want it to look perfect. And it's going to get strings and everything else. So I just tore them, and I tore one of them. I think I tore them both about 2 inches. I did. So I'm just going to cut these in half. I think that these are a yard. No, that doesn't look like. How long are these? These are however long this fabric was. 12, 24. Yeah, these probably started out life about 36 inches, give or take. But that's those. So I'm just going to cut these in half. And we'll have one on each side. And then I'm going to do the same with the black. And I think I'm going to put the black on top. And you don't have to use 2, and you don't have to use the same colors I'm using. Just use whatever you think you'd like. Or you could just use seam binding if you want, or something like that. Okay, there's that. And there is that. So let me just put those to the side for the moment. And my ruler is here. All right, so this is 9 inches tall. So 4.5 is going to be the center. And I can make a mark because this is all going to be covered. So I am just going to kind of go about there and center things right about there. And I'm going to put this, it doesn't really matter because I'm going to trim the ends, but I'm just going to put this about like this. If it is not perfectly flat, and it probably won't be, I mean, you could iron it or something if you wanted, but yeah, I'm not going to do that. I think I'll put it this way. You could just iron the end of it. I'm not really worried about it because even though that's going to mean my mat is going to be not as flat as it might be, I'm actually going to put quite a few things on top of this mat. But I will pull this out a little bit to try to make it semi-flat, if that makes sense. And I am using Fabri-Tac for this. And I'm just going to put a little to start with, and then we can tuck some more underneath. And again, I'm just eyeballing. I've got my pencil mark there. So that's going to be about there, like that. And again, you don't have to fuss too much with this. I'm just trying to reduce the bulk a little bit there. I need to get some glue down the end there. And try to keep glue away from about the last 1/4 inch or so before at the edge here, because there won't be a mat there. All right, just going to turn this over. And you could just use a ribbon for this. You don't need to use fabric. I just wanted to do something a little different. And I'm just pulling that out. That is pretty good. Okay, maybe a little bit right there. Okay, and back here it's not too big a deal because we're going to have some raised elements on top. And again, this is going on the finished side of, this is the side that's not wrapped. This is where it's going. All right, and then we're going to put the second one. And this is just going to rest right on top. I need to refill this bottle. And that's probably more than I need. I'm just spreading that with my fingers. Okay. And I had actually intended to cut this one a little narrower, but just when I tore it at the exact same width as the other one, almost. It is a little bit narrower, but I think it looks fine. Okay, so there's that. And then I'm just gonna do that, and I'm okay if I get some glue seepage, that's fine. That all over. But the nice thing about Fabri-Tac is it just comes right off. And I could actually use, I have a glue eraser, but since I'm going to mat it anyway, it really doesn't matter. Okay, Now this is the back. Okay, I marked it so I would know for sure. And so I've got it upside down. Right? Yeah, this is how this is going to go. And then this, and don't worry about these threads. We're kind of going to embrace the threads, but so this one is going to go on top like this. Okay, and for this, let's use a combination actually. I'm going to put some Fabri-Tac here, and then I'll use my art glitter for the rest. Okay. Almost put the glue on the wrong side. That would have been not fun. Okay. And let's get that as flat as we can. And again, you have space here, but that's our contrast spine is going to come up and over that. Put a lot of glue. And what did I do with my... Okay, so that's the back. Slide that one over to dry, and we're going to do the same thing on the front. So this is the front, and again, we're going to have it coming out the finished side. Okay, so there is the front and the back. Now we have to deal with the spine. So let me set this aside with this one to dry. And we have here, now you will have seen the walkthrough, so you have some idea what we're doing here. If you haven't, go ahead and watch that. So what I have here is, now you do not have to draw all these lines. I kind of drew them just to give you an idea where we were going with this. So I drew a center line badly, as you can see. I had to draw it again. So this is 9 inches wide. So the center line is going to be at 4.5. Then, because my spine is 2.5, right? So I needed 1 1/4 on either side of the spine. So I drew a line at 1 1/4. And then I need a 1/4 inch space between the spine and the covers. So I drew a 1/4 inch line. Okay? Then I drew a line that was 4 inches from the center line to the outside on either side, and 1 inch top and bottom, because that's how much I need to wrap, is 1 inch. And the reason I have this 4 inch line is I want to tear this, and I'm also going to tear the rice paper. But the rice paper is narrow. Not narrow, but narrower than this piece. So that line tells me that I have to tear inside this line. So that's basically just telling me where to tear. And it doesn't really matter. I mean, it's torn. It's supposed to look rough. But that's what that's for. And then we'll tear this as well. So the first thing I think I'm going to do is do that tearing. So I'm just going to come up here. And it's okay if it's rough, don't panic. That's what we're going for. and tear. And then I'm just going to tear a little here because it's kind of angled. That looks good. Remember, this is going to be the outside piece. Okay, that looks good. And then I am just going to do the same thing here on this side. Yep, that's fine. Okay, so we've done that. Then we can go ahead and put this in. And my tool here. And I've just got double-sided tape on the back. And since I have lines drawn for where this needs to go, and again, it's all eyeballed. You do not have to do this with all the lines. You just eyeball it all. Okay. Here we go. And then I'm gonna, do I want to ink? Yeah, I'm gonna ink that. Maybe. No, I'm not. I'm not gonna ink it because I don't want it to show too much behind the paper. Okay. So that's fine. So that's gonna go like that. And then let's get our pieces. And we could put this on now, but I think I'll wait until I get these on. So that's the back, that's the front. Okay, so these are gonna go here. And what we're going to do, just looking at that, am I on? There we are. Is use a combination of tape and glue, which we will apply here because with this curve, it's not like we can just put a piece of tape there. We'll also put some tape here. So take your, if you had wide score tape, now would be the time to use it. I mean, I have score strips, but not wide score tape. So I am going to, hang on. This is on the outside, on the side that is not wrapped. Okay, and I'm just going to put two pieces here. Oops, I ran out of tape on that spool. I think I have a little left on this one. And then we are going to go here and put tape. And what did I do with my tearing tool? There it is. There. And then I'm going to use a little bit of Fabri-Tac, and I'm just going to lift this up. Actually, you know what? This is where these I double taped. This tape should have gone further out. So let me just put that piece there, because this is where this is going to go. But that's all right. Two pieces of tape is not going to be a problem. Actually, I might as well go ahead and put some tape on the other side as well. Sorry. I'm just knocking everything over here. My air conditioning just came on and blew my rice paper away. Hang on a second. All right. So I'm going to do this side first. This is going to go here. And I'm just going to do a little glue here. It's all right if it sticks up a little. You can always add some glue later if you want. And we're going to be, I should burnish that. All right, what did I do with my, there it is. I just drew a blank. Oh, we're going to be adding glue when we add the rice paper. But I am going to do this. And this. And I think I was going to use Fabri-Tac, but because it doesn't warp, but I think this is more like a matte, so I'll be fine with a little bit of art glitter glue here. And I'm not going past that upper 1 inch line. Okay. And make sure you've got it so that it's right side up and with the unfinished edge in. And I am going to take this ruler. Hang on. I don't know if you can see, but I'm going to lay this ruler here right along the edge of that to make sure that I get this where I want it. Right there. And if I was not going to use the rice paper, I would have inked this. So if you're skipping the rice paper, ink that. But because I know the rice paper is going to come over that, and I don't want it to really show through strongly, I did not ink it. Okay, that's the back. All right, now we're going to do the same for the front. So I'm going to put tape here. And here. And I've already got my tape there. And then we're going to add some glue. Going to go past that line. That. And I'm just double checking. Yeah, my tape is fine. I just want to make sure there's not going to be any gap between the tape that's on the craft and the tape that's on the black. Okay, and let's grab the ruler. Let's get this stuff out of the way. This is kind of a big cover, so you need a little bit of room. Okay. Ooh, hit the light. Go. Here's that one. Let's turn it over. Okay, and then we are going to want to wrap this craft around. first I'm just lifting it up, and then we are going to take our tape and going to go over like that. I don't know why I'm doing that when I have a tool. If I can find my tool somewhere. Okay. Go. I'm not going to lift this up yet because I have to do the other side and furnish it. Okay. Yikes, dropped it. It's kind of unwieldy. Okay, there we go. And I didn't put any tape in here. I'll probably add some in the end, so if you want to add yours now, that's fine. Or, you know, add it before you even put this piece down. Just to hold the liner. This is going to be a, that's the back, that's the front. This is going to be a pretty cover, I think. And I would say, yeah, definitely put your 1/4 inch tape in. I probably should have, I just honestly forgot. Just, this will stick to it. I'll add a little glue or something to make it stick, but I'm going to add a liner as well. But first I want to add, I'm just wondering if I should stick that down now. Yeah, you'll have tape. I'm just going to add a little glue. I'm just gonna squeeze that up in there. And I need my, what do I do with the baby wipe? It's making a mess. If you use tape, you won't have to do what I'm doing here with the glue. I just forgot about the tape, to tell you the truth, as I just said. And I'm just putting a whole lot of glue in here because I want it to be able to smush all the way up in there. Doesn't matter if it's a little messy, there's going to be a liner. Okay. And turn it over. And just burnish it from this side as well. And I'm just going to get that little glue. And we have this big, messy fabric bow, which I think is going to be pretty. Like that. Okay, now let's add the rice paper. Now we have to rip this rice paper. We don't have to, but I want to. And grab it. Yeah, even though rice paper seems really flimsy, it's not. This does not tear easily. So, and I only want to tear a little. What we need to do is paint a line of water where we want to tear, and that'll allow it to tear, which also is nice because it helps you control, the tear. So give me a second. I'm gonna clean up all these tape backs and things that I have around, and then we'll do that. Okay, so I have water. I want to be very careful that I don't spill it all over the place. And I just want to get an idea. All right, so I think if I stay basically outside all the main design elements on this side, and the same on this side, I'll be good. And it doesn't really matter if a little of the craft shows as well, especially on the front where it's going to be covered by all kinds of other things. So I'm just gonna see how it just kind of splits where I painted it. And I'm trying not to be too neat about it because I want it to look like it's torn. And I can always tear a little more off. And you can pretty much tell where it's dry and where you stop painting because it stops tearing. Okay, there's that side. That looks good. Dry my board. Love having a glass board for things like this. if you're looking for one, this is from Glassboard Studios, and I do have a discount code down below. I don't know if you could hear that little tear. That was a dry spot, so that was, you know, where I hadn't moistened it yet. I'm just using a makeup brush here. It's one that I had that I wasn't using, so. Okay, here we go. And let me go get rid of this water before I spill it everywhere. Okay, and all right, I am going to take a break for a little bit just because I want this to be thoroughly dry, because we are going to ink the edges before we apply it. All right, so I'll be back in a few minutes. I am back. This is dried, and now that I have laid it on here, I am not going to ink it because I really kind of like the way it just sort of blends in with the papers that are already here, and on this side it's going to be covered anyway. So let's go ahead and put this down. I'm just going to pull this over as a scrap. Thanks. And you can use a maybe kind of a sort of a matte adhesive, like a matte Mod Podge or a matte medium. I am using, if you have it, you can use what I'm using, which is the, it's getting blown by my air conditioning, Stamperia Cola Velo, which is rice paper glue. But I think it's basically matte Mod Podge. I think it's the same. Okay, and I'm just using this over here as my and what I'm going to do is put it on the back first, because the back is going to show you know, on the front I'm probably going to put some other layers. So I'm just painting some glue on. I am going to lay this down. I want the line of that little sign part to be above the top of the book. And I think that. Okay, that looks pretty good. And then I'm just going to add just getting more glue up in under the edge. Fold this back. I'm going to glue up to but not past where the cover bends. Okay. And I don't think that I explained why we put this craft down and why we tore it when none of it was going to be visible. And the reason for that is because the rice paper is transparent. If I put it over the black, it would have looked pretty dull. So I chose craft. And the reason I tore the craft edge is because the same thing, it's transparent, and I didn't want to see a straight line of that craft underneath the rice paper. It would have really stood out. Okay, now, the reason I stopped there is I want to bend the cover the way it's going to be bent when I put this paper on. Okay, so I'm just going to pull that back, and you can actually add the glue while it's flat, but you need to pick it up before you lay the paper over it. Okay, and then pick this up and bend it, and then bring this over. Okay, now I'm going to stand it up, bend that under just fine. It's a little tricky at this point. And you can actually dribble the glue right onto the book if you want, but this seems a little neater. Okay, and then I'm just going to take it over here. Okay, and and now we can put it down again, which makes it a little easier. And I'm going to move my glue over to this side. Let's get our and this completely does cover the put a little glue on the front, but that's all right. I'm going to put it there anyway. The craft, so you know you're safe putting glue right up to the edge of that craft. And I'm just going to kind of do a straight line just up and off that edge. And then we're just going to tuck our glue up there, anywhere it's loose. couple of bubbles, but that's okay. That is looking good. Okay. Now, let me go ahead and wash my brush before it. We'll probably add more glue to the outside like you do with decoupage, but for now I'm done with that, and I want to make sure the glue doesn't dry on my brush. We have to fold this over, and I think I can do it while it's damp. So before, my goodness, what I got there? Oh, that looks like Fabri-Tac. I should be able to get that off with what do you call it? A glue eraser. All right, so we're just going to fold these to the inside and glue them down. So I just need a little bit more glue. Now these are not going to show really, because we're going to there'll be matting, and there will be the liner. So you could use regular glue for this if you want. So I'm just putting the glue, in this case, on the actual rice paper, as well as a little bit on the book. I don't know if you can see it. Hang on. Okay, I think you can see that. So I'm putting it on the rice paper and along the book here. Once rice paper gets wet, it gets trickier to handle. So I'm just gonna up and over with that gently. Like I said, once it's wet, it's a little more fragile. And you don't have to fuss with this really, because like I said, it's going to be covered. You'll only see a teeny tiny bit along the top edge. Folder, get that down in there. Okay, turn it around. Let's do this one. Just getting that fabric out of there. Little glue here. Middle down first. There we go. Perfect. Even if you just do a plain spine wrap in the rice paper, it just looks so nice. It gives your spine such a beautiful finished look. That is awesome. I am very happy with that. Now that has to dry, I'm going to stand it up to dry since both sides are wet. And now I'm going to go wash my brush. Okay. I shall be back. I've got the pages out, and while that's drying, let's go ahead and do page 5, which we hadn't done yet. So this is a solid page. In other words, this is the side that has the pocket. And if you've I'm just sorry, I just drew a blank because I can't find the sheet I'm looking for, but I'll find it. As you know, I sometimes like to do fussy cut pockets, where, let's assume this was a pocket, we'd put a mat and then fussy cut the top. We're going to do the same thing, but we're going to make it a flap. So this piece is 5.5 by 8.5, scored down one long side. And I'm just going to put tape. And let me get these out of the way. Work on this. And good pair of those little scissors and a bad pair. That's the bad pair. Here's the good pair. And I'm going to trim my corners. Okay, and I'm going to cut my mat. I need to find the paper, which I seem to have misplaced. Here it is. I'm going to use this side. We're going to fussy cut the edge of these. So I am going to, let's see, this is 5, right? Yeah, so I'm going to cut this 4 7/8 by 8. This is, how big is this? 8.5, right? By 8 3/8. So 4 7/8 by 8 3/8. Okay. While I was cutting that, I remembered that I really want this to come basically all the way to the edge. So I cut it wider. Instead of 4 7/8, I cut it 4 15/16. So I'm going to bring it down a little bit from the top, up a little bit from the bottom, but right to the edge here. And happily, the height of this mat turned out to be right from the bottom of this suitcase to right to the top of this one. So that worked in our favor. And I am just going to do ink here. So ink along the top and this side and the bottom. We're going to be cutting off the other edge, so there's no need to ink that. And oh, you know what? We're going to need to put the inner mat on as well so we can cut them at once. And I think I do want actual pattern paper there, not craft. So let me see what I've got. I've used quite a bit of both of the 12 by 12s. I haven't used as much of the 8 by 8s yet, but I anticipate using those on the inserts. I have used some, but not as much. See, I've got this piece left over, and that'll fit. All right, let's use that. So this one is going to be the same size, 8 3/8 by 4 5/16. I mean, 4 15/16. Yeah. Okay. And now this one gets inked as well. And this one is going to go here. So I need to ink this side. And the bottom. Right, let's go ahead and put these down. Oh, hang on, before I put these down, let's put a magnet. Actually, this is tall. I think I'll put 2. And just going to put them right about there. This one right about there. There. Okay. Now I'll glue this down. And put that out of the way, and we are going to put this right to the edge, and then leave the usual amount top and bottom. Be careful of those magnets when you're burnishing. Okay, and then we're going to do the same on this side. And then I think we'll put just a narrower flap on the opposite side, not fussy cut. And this one, I'm going to turn this around just to make it a little easier. And again, we're going to put this right up to the edge. That. I hope I put those magnets far enough in. I did, because I got a fussy cut, but they're still going to be far enough in. Of course, it's already matted, so. All right, so now I'm just going to fussy cut right along the edge of all of these suitcases. Okay, I'm just going to angle that a little bit, and angle this one a little bit. Okay, it's curling up on me a little bit, but I think that's just fine. Okay, now I'm going to ink those edges. Cute. All right, and let's go ahead and put that down. Sure it's right side up, just like that. So this is going to go here on this side. Just checking it for fit. Probably ought to have done that first, huh? Okay. I have no idea what that sound is, but it's obnoxious, whatever it is. Saturday afternoon, somebody's probably doing some home maintenance. Okay, just line that up. Okay, and then let's put the matching magnets down before I forget. That was close. You might want to put your magnets in a little bit further than I did, but they're fine because they're already matted, so it's not a big deal. Okay. Remember which side to put the adhesive on. Go. And we want a scrap of some kind. Okay, here's the other side of that piece. I think. Yeah. And we need to make the other flap, and then we need mats for that flap and for here. And then we also have that band that we didn't do mats for yet on the back, on the waterfall. I am being very awkward with that. Okay. Cute. All right. So let us cut a flap for the other side. Let's see. I think we want the other one to finish at 4 or even 3.5. Make it fairly narrow. I think. I'm hoping this. Well, it's got to clear those magnets. Well, no, it doesn't really. It doesn't matter. I could make it the same size, except that's fussy cut, so it looks different. I'm dithering. Okay, we're gonna make it 4, so I have to cut it 4.5 by 8.5. Okay, so, and this goes in here, 4.5 by 8.5. Okay. And we want to score that. Score it at 1/2 inch down one long side. You could use a larger scoreboard. I just don't feel like getting mine out. But it doesn't matter, I'm going to cut it off anyway. Alright, and trim the corners. There's that, and I wonder... Where was that piece I was just using as a scrap? Here it is. I think this is not big enough to use in there, so we could use it here. That's kind of cute, and it sort of carries over, but didn't we do that with this exact same paper somewhere else? I know we did. So maybe not that. How about if we just use maybe this side so it doesn't look quite so matchy-matchy. And what else do we have here? Let's see, we've used this, but I don't think we've used it much. Hang on, let's take a look. Oh, we used it here on page 1. What did we use? We used this lower corner. So we could use the upper. Oh, well, we use the upper here. Right. Not that. We've used this. Oh, we haven't used this really bright page. Kind of like to use it for the inside. So let's pull it out. And this needs to be 6 3/8, give or take, 6 3/8 wide. So if I cut the 6 3/8 from this side, then I'll still have this side that I can cut this out of. So let me do the 6 3/8 by 8 3/8 for here. So that's going to go there. And then I have this piece. I could use this part of, because we have not used that section on the inside. I think all of that looks really good open. So let's do that. And that's 4, right? So 3 7/8 by 8 3/8. Okay. So that's gonna go there. That's gonna go there. And I still need something for there, which is gonna be under those suitcases. Do I want maybe this? I think that distracts a little bit from the suitcases. We have this one. This is the one I was originally talking about using. Looks good with that. Looks good with that. Okay, let's use that. So this is going to be the same 8 3/8 by 4 7/8. No, it's not. It's not 4 7/8. 3 7/8, right? Yeah, 3 7/8 by 8 7/8. 8 3/8. Oh my goodness. Okay, and this actually goes this way, but I think I'm going to turn it around so we get the borders this way. Nice. Okay. So let's go ahead and mark this. Line up the top corner or the bottom corner, whichever you want. It's going to be really pretty. I am happy with this. I'm just checking for fit. It's sometimes hard to tell with black. Oh, I put it way too low, I think. Oh, I don't think I can get it off. Maybe I can. Oh, that's better. All right. Let's try that again. That's better. Huge. Okay. So the last thing that we have, I mean, we may do further, I'm sure we'll do further embellishment, but we have to do, so we have a pocket lining there that I don't have done yet, and we have this here. So let's see that. I'm just putting them in order. That's 1, 2, this is 3, 4. So I need a pocket lining here for 4, and that could be almost anything really. I have this piece that I said almost anything, but that doesn't go. That kind of goes. Yeah, that's perfect. Already the right size and everything. That takes care of that. What's the matter, baby? I'm just checking which side I want. Yeah, I don't think I want that blotch on the outside, so we're gonna do it this way. Oh my goodness, what? Really? Are you hungry? Sorry, we just had a little crisis. She got up and jumped right on the computer that is recording the audio for this. So I hope it's still recording the audio. I don't know if it is. We'll hope for the best. Hang on, that's going to the inside. I don't need any glue there. Okay. further than I maybe wanted to. But okay, that's good. That lightens up those blues a little bit. All right, so that is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. We need this band. Okay, so this needs to be 1 5/8 by 6 3/8. All right, so what have I got? Oh, you know, we could use an 8 by 8 for that because it's shorter. I've got this piece already. I don't know. Oh, that's pretty. That side's pretty too. Maybe that for the inside. I like that. It's got a little bit of text that it's going to end up sideways. But I'm not terribly opposed to that. Okay, so this for the outside, that for the inside. Let's glue these down, and then I'm gonna, I don't know how long this has been going on, but quite a while I think with that cover. So we'll do this and then we'll stop for the day and take care of little miss. And let's see, I need to move this to a flatter spot to put this one down. Just put the glue on the wrong side. Oops. Oh, crooked. Put that very crooked. Oh well, it's on the inside, nobody will see it. There. All right, so that is that. So we finished our cover base. I mean, there's still quite a bit of decoration to go there. And we finished our pages. Ooh, sorry about that. Finished getting our pages ready, although they have some embellishment to go as well. However, we're making really good progress. So, thank you so much for watching. Please like, share, and subscribe. There is a link down below for the cutting guide for this project. There is a link to Scrap and Create. This is a design project for Scrap and Create. And you can get all your supplies there. And there's a link to Glassboard Studio with a discount code if you want to purchase a mat, as well as Amazon links to products that I like to use. So, thanks so much for watching. I will see you next time, and we'll keep going with this project.